I haven't spent a lot of time in court myself. I spent a lot of time in jail, and not a lot of time in court. Alright guys, Papa Pepper. This one's going to be a little bit different, but I just wanted to throw this out there as a helpful reminder about the importance of really recording everything. I was watching one YouTube channel a while ago, and they were just talking about always having the cameras on, because that way if something really epic happens, you got video evidence of it. And the importance of just kind of, while you're doing stuff, having the cameras on. And this is not really about content creation. This is more about just safety, well-being, watching out for yourself and making sure that really truth prevails. Recently I spent some time in court, and it wasn't for anything I had done or hadn't done and was accused of. I was hanging out with some alleged criminals, and I'll say alleged criminals because when you get a ticket saying that there's a certain thing you've committed, yes, you're innocent till proven guilty, but until that point, it's alleged that you've broken some sort of law, that you're some sort of criminal. So that's kind of why I use that term. So I chose to go hang out in the courtroom and see how this whole thing went down. And while I was waiting for the alleged criminals' day in court, my friends, something else happened. And that is that we got to sit through quite a few other people entering pleas, dealing with just with the whole court system. Now, one guy in particular stood out to me because of just the way the whole situation happened. Supposedly, he was first off drinking and driving. Moreover, there were other charges that he was facing because of his interaction with the officers. He did not record anything, but the police officers had. And here's where it gets very interesting. They said, look, we pulled you over, you were drunk when you were driving, then upon our interaction with you, all this other stuff happened. And I don't remember how many charges it was, but there was multiple other things that he was being charged with. And they said, and we, recorded the whole thing. And his defense, or his, claim, was that none of the other stuff went down. He wasn't drinking and driving. He was completely innocent. And his lawyer had requested a copy of the police video from the whole interaction. And the crazy thing is that then when the prosecuting attorney came up, he said, well, he says, we haven't given them the video evidence. He said the reason that we haven't given them the video evidence is not anything intentional or anything malicious. He said we just happened to tape over that footage. And at that point, there's really two main trains of thought. Number one is, if the main evidence you have against someone is video, you should really be careful with that, because if every accusation the police officers had made against this man was true, then they were letting a dangerous criminal go. First of all, because he's putting others at risk because of the way he's choosing to operate motor vehicles intoxicated. I'm not sure why they didn't have any evidence of that because he was free and clear of all charges by the end of it. But then also, I mean, if he's the type to get violent and other things against, you know, law enforcement officers when they pull him over, that can be dangerous. The second option is really that he was innocent of everything. They didn't have anything on video. And despite the claims of the prosecuting attorney that it wasn't intentional, they just happened to erase it, well, then it would have been intentional. So very, very strange. Obviously, it worked out well for the man if he was innocent because the judge said, well, anything that pertains to what would have been on that video is now inadmissible. I mean, if you guys had it on video and you erased it, the judge apparently wasn't even willing to take their word against his. She just threw it out. All that potential, you know, whatever there was. And like I said, I'm not sure about the whole drinking thing because, you know, you should have been a breathalyzer, a blood test, urine sample, something pertaining to that. But the guy walked out free and clear. Now, here's the interesting thing, though, and why I say kind of to videotape everything. And I mean, if you look online and look for public freakouts, you will see people acting like complete fools constantly in public. And the reason you're going to see that is, one is I do believe it's increasing. I do believe, first of all, we've got more people now than formerly. Second of all, people are really being conditioned to be very intolerant, even in all their tolerance, where they can't deal with anything and they completely freak out. But then because everyone's got a smartphone or, you know, a video camera and stuff, they're recording this stuff and putting it out there for the rest of us to see immediately. So it looks like an absolute epidemic. Also, if you look at kind of some of the interactions between just civilians and law enforcement officers, that stuff blows up and goes viral right away too because people are recording it. So if the judge had not dismissed everything that would have been recorded, and you know, just she said that whole time frame, whatever was on that video, you know, we're not looking at it all because you guys lost your main evidence, therefore I'm not going to take your word for it. But if the civilian had been recording it, and if his story was true, then even if the judge said, okay, well, you guys lost the footage, but I'll still hear your, you know, your under oath testimony about the matter, you know, he could have still suffered some stuff, potentially for something he didn't commit, if it was just their word against his. But if he would have had video evidence, it would have been different. So for me, I haven't spent a lot of time in court myself. I spent a lot of time in jail, and not a lot of time in court. But this was really interesting, and the jail was just the jail ministry, going down to the county jail often a couple times a week and just having Bible studies and stuff with the guys. But it was just very interesting to see how something like that could really go down. And it just kind of reminded me of just the importance of just having the cameras rolling. That's important. You never know what's going to happen, but a camera, you know, although video stuff can be edited, a camera's going to capture what really happened. And I'm just a big encourager of the truth. A lot of people say the truth hurts, but the truth only hurts because of the things we allow to be true. I mean, if somebody says something about you and it's true and it hurts, well, you know, you're the one who kind of allowed that to be true to a certain degree a lot of times. I've got a lot of bad things in my past. I don't hope to have many in my future because of the way I'm going to live in the present. Even the old truth that actually would hurt, it's not going to hurt as much because it's going to testify to how my life is different now, if that makes sense. So, guys, I learned something from that situation in court. I absolutely did. And I just wanted to share it because I think it's important. And I know a lot of people who watch this may have their own channels and may create things themselves, have cameras. Keep them rolling. Also, for those viewers and stuff, a lot of you have smartphones and other things. You never know how a situation is going to go. But if you want kind of what actually happened to be out there, it may be worthwhile for you to record it. Even if you know nothing's going down, even if there's other people recording, I mean, even if the police, you know, have body cams, apparently that's not always enough. And even, you know, as a civilian watching something go down, it may be good to get some backup footage of things too, just to have another angle on it, because a lot of people don't want to incriminate themselves. So even if they're recording, that stuff will disappear as well. hopefully that's some good food for thought, something you guys think about. Like I said, I learned a lot, and very, very interesting situation. Papa out.